What up and welcome to Rama Screen YouTube channel, and here's my review of Netflix new documentary series, American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson. Let's rock this. Okay, so by now I have lost count on how many documentaries been made over the years about O.J. Simpson. Countless. There had been so many of them ever since the mid-90s. Not to mention the narrative adaptations about him, including the one that producer Ryan Murphy did almost 10 years ago. Remember that one? So a lot of people have shared their interpretations on this case, which at one point captured the attention of our country like crazy. So when Netflix sent me the advanced screener to this new docu, I was like, what new insights could this new docu possibly tell us that we had not already heard before? Because by this point, as far as Americans are concerned, this is the 1720th documentary made about O.J. Simpson. By this point, Americans probably already have the case memorized like the back of their hand. Well, for one, last year was the 30th anniversary of the heinous tragic murder. And this year is the 30th anniversary of the controversial verdict, aka acquittal, aka jury nullification, however you want to call it. So there's that significance for sure. But this new docu, well, it's not so much providing new information as it is more about the packaging. By that I mean the structure or the way that this docu retells that entire case is what ultimately makes it exceptional and riveting and a must-see from start to finish. I kid you not. Directed by Floyd Russ, this 4-episode docuseries takes an in-depth look at the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman and the trial that dominated the news cycle in the mid-1990s, from the chase on LA freeways to the riveting court proceedings, featuring new and candid interviews with key individuals, including Goldman's sister Kim, O.J. Simpson prosecutor Christopher Darden, LA Police Detective Mark Furman, O.J. Simpson defense attorney Carl Douglas, and key witness Cato Kalin. Informed by 30 years of reflection, the series re-examines the true crime story that changed American culture. So what I ultimately very much like about this docu is that it presents the case like it's some kind of a boxing match. On one corner of the ring is the defense team, and on the other corner is the prosecution. And the stunning thing is, they both offer compelling arguments to support their side. The way that they verbally throw jabs and hooks and uppercuts at each other, it's almost as if you're watching a gladiatorial battle of analysis. There's a power struggle, there's the racial component, there's the general public versus the LAPD tension that's consistently about to explode at any moment. American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson is craftily, brilliantly, and masterfully put together in such a way that it feels like you're watching a gripping, jaw-dropping, suspenseful thriller. Even though you already know the outcome, episode 1 does not wait a single minute. It immediately hits you with the murder scene photos that kind of punches you in the gut. Some of you probably thought, oh, they got stabbed a few times. No, they got stabbed a lot of times, almost to the point of decapitation. Episode 1 seriously wants to show you the gravity of the situation and the rage that it took for somebody to commit such crime. I mean, once you've seen that pool of blood, you can't unsee it. And no more will you ever look back on this case as some sort of a Saturday Night Live joke. Episode 2 lives up to the overall title, The Manhunt, the famous spectacle of chasing down the Bronco across LA freeways. Episode 3 is the circus trial, and episode 4 are the verdict and the aftermath. I mean, this case is 30 years old now, so the only people that this should shock are the Gen Zs, right? But I would argue that those of us who lived during that time would also find this docu absolutely bananas because of how much it grabs hold of you and doesn't let go. The talking heads definitely leave a memorable mark. It's interesting hearing their personal stories about the other key individuals who have since now passed away, including OJ. From a B-list actor to a cop who basically admits or owns up to the fact that he's racist. I mean, credit where credit is due. The cop basically says, I'm not proud of it, I regret it, but I guess racism is my forever legacy now. Wow, I was taken aback by that. Most other cops would deny, deny, deny. So good on him, I guess. The only criticism that I have about this docu is that it does too much in terms of the imagery. By that I mean, you know how some of the talking heads would frequently use analogies or metaphors? Well, the documentary would often cut to literal images of whatever it is that those individuals had just mentioned, and the docu would go overboard with that tactic. At one point, it even shows a bowl of spaghetti with a cockroach on it. Just because one of the defense attorneys is talking about a bowl of spaghetti with a cockroach on it. And I was like, we don't need to see this. The viewers don't need to see this. How does this have anything to do with anything? It's unnecessarily gross. Anyway, the million-dollar question remains, even after his death, did OJ kill Nicole and Ron? You'd be surprised to find out that even though this docu, yes, it chronicles the events, and yes, it presents the arguments from both sides, but it also ultimately takes a position, as chillingly revealed by OJ's agent at the end of the final episode. But even if you are one of the few left on earth who thinks he's innocent, bless your heart, and I mean that sarcastically, this docu is an astounding exploration of racial tension in America and our never-ending celebrity worship culture. I mean, to think that a wealthy, tone-deaf elite who was known to never hang out with regular folks, let alone regular folks of his own skin color, could somehow be a symbol for racial struggle in America because of the anger over the Rodney King riot is a fascinating, thought-provoking examination worthy of discussions even years from now. And you know what? Above all, this particular case will definitely make you question the jury system that we have in this country. Biases, media influence, intimidations. I mean, other countries that don't have jury system and only rely on a panel of judges would point to the O.J. Simpson case as an example of why and how, when everything comes down to convincing 12 people, the truth can be relative and persuadable. It's not truth for the sake of truth. So yeah, overall I give American Manhunt, O.J. Simpson, the rating of 4.5 out of 5. One of the best, most phenomenal true crime courtroom documentaries I've ever seen. Highly absorbing through and through.